Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Life is finite and I know the end is near. The question is, how do you want to go out? On your feet or on your knees? I want to go out with my finger on the motherfucking trigger. As the time draws near and our plans come to fruition, I will strike at the head of the snake and make my stand. The greatest jihad is to say the truth in front of the king. This assassination will open the gates of Satan's hell on my enemies. Leaders of my enemies should know that they are personally the target of my derision. Let me cry out so loud that the whole country will hear me. There is only one death, so let it be a shaheed in the path of Allah. It all reminds me of something Dick Cheney once said. I had other priorities in the 60s than military service. The goddamned American Revolution was caused by King George's insistence on taxing the colonies with his central bank. He wanted to loan the colonies the money to operate at interest. Sound familiar? We gave up our industrial base for service jobs and tech jobs, and now they are being outsourced. NWO. Soon we will be glad to take minimum wage for 35 hours a week, and it will be a blessing. An entire nation without health care. I thought the plan was always to have health care for every American. I think we are going backwards, and it is sick. J.P. Morgan precipitated the stock panic in 1907, and then he initiated the meeting on Jekyll Island that created the new central bank that we fought so hard to destroy. Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, and we have been slaves ever since. They promised that economic crisis was a thing of the past and that interest rates and inflation would be controlled. Thanks. Hey, let's increase the money supply. Oops, time for a margin call. This was the greatest robbery in American history, followed by the Great Depression and the federal income tax, all orchestrated, unconstitutional, and evil. We are suffering eon ruin, the transition between two ages. One eon is collapsing and another is forming. Now is the time for Kool-Aiding guns. Yahweh, through the physical entity incarnate, is the prophet of the new eon. At his direction, we approach the world with a raised middle finger. We could only hope to debut in front of mobs of booing patrons. We must rise above these self-aggrandizing hacks like Ginsburg and Crowley by fixing the minor glitches so that we might be born again into the light. You have to set up your goddamn punchlines if you want to be a heavyweight. We will start a spiritual movement across this land that will make generations of academics cringe, as their philosophies are laid to waste. The perfecti will rise again, and retribution will be served as the Pope admits before throngs of Catholics that he is a false prophet and that Jesus is a figment of his imagination. All Catholics will be forced to recant their beliefs or die, and then 1,000 years of atonement will have begun. The prophecy speaks of now, and we are the pioneers of the new path, the new reality, and a new future. It will have no fabric, no membership, no rivals, no ambition, no boundaries, no nation, no color, and no creed. There will be only understanding. It will acknowledge teachers above all else. All of our great teachers through the ages who have shown us the path to truth, the path of love, the path of hope will be revered. Here will come a supreme transition, an organic alchemical act of subconscious change and the death of the ego. And the carrier pigeons plunge into the vortex and voluntary return unto the whole. We will not go with a bang or with a whimper, but with a shade of love, and a voice of hope. We will have blazoned a path and paid the price for all to follow. There will be no hierarchy, no structure, for no one man is greater than another. All will be judged only by their deeds and their soul and by their eyes, which is where the truth lies. We shall love our neighbor, our environment, and our world. Finally, the arcanum unraveled will unlock the door to our higher selves, and the bastions of old shall fall at our feet. The earth needs a reality frequency upgrade. Together the populace, through high frequency vibrations, fluid karma, thoughts, visions, and pure energy, will prove far more powerful than the cabals of capitalism, fascism, religion, and all other forms of evil. Dive into the light. Follow the light however it shows itself. It is our only hope. J.D. Rockefeller made $200 million from World War I. If we take our foot off the throat of the enemy, our world will change forever. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order. We can't be so fixated on our desire to preserve the rights of ordinary Americans. The individual is handicapped when coming face to face with a conspiracy so monstrous he cannot believe it exists. There is a power so organized, so subtle, so complete, and so pervasive that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Today, America would be outraged if military troops entered D.C. to restore order. Tomorrow, we shall be grateful. How come everyone leaves Washington to go to work for defense contractors and pharmaceutical companies? Did you know in England not only is your hospital stay free, but if you have reduced means, they will reimburse your personal transport costs? Fucking Marxists. God damn it. In America, we only socialize education. The police, fire departments, the military, post offices, and the library system. But health care? Who the fuck do you think we are? Canada? It's one big round world. I cannot wait for the one world government. Bring on the North American Union. Let's get together with our European Union brethren. The Asian Union, African Union, one world government, national ID cards, chips with our financial information and satellite tracking technology embedded. An educated, healthy, and confident people would not stand for 1% of the world holding 80% of the wealth, but we do. I think I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder. What drugs can I get? Bush is like Nixon now because it was okay to hate Nixon and you knew he hated you back. But at least it was honest. It is very interesting that there are real movements taking hold to stop Zion, and they are bloody organized. It is a very exciting time to be alive. Yes, and there is a larger section of Jews who are actively attacking the Zionist agenda. I love it. Self-hating Jews, my people. I am getting a Star of David tattoo, and I will put it where everyone can see it, and I will attack Israel non-stop afterwards and dare people to shut me up. I will call them anti-Semites. I am a threat to the NWO Zionist agenda. It will be individuals like myself that will make them fail. I don't want to tip my hand just yet, but the right people can read between the lines. I need more Valium. By the way, if someone smites you on the cheek, smash him on the other.